Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStruggleNow.com. And tonight, the Federal Reserve, September 2025, cut the rates a quarter point, 25 basis points. For all of you financially literate, once again, do you know what happens next traditionally? Just because things have happened most of the time, over 90% of the time, doesn't mean it's going to happen in this case. But you need to be prepared. You wealth builders, I know you're watching. You guys got to get those assets that pay you. They are going to start rocking higher as soon as another lever drops. It's going to be shortly coming, but you're going to be prepared because you're here. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here once again. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information or who's not looking for information. Once again, let's just start it off findhelp.org before anything else goes, because a lot of people out here are needing help and we try to help people. Rising tides lift all boats, ladies and gentlemen. So, findhelp.org is the place to go if you need help with a myriad of things. It could be job training at no cost. It could be caregiving at no cost. It could be mental health at no cost, where you can go to some psychology, sociology, whatever. There are things, bus passes, subway passes, car repair grants, all kind of things are under findhelp.org. Just go there and put in your zip code and you will see all of the different services that you can call up these nonprofits, and they may charge a little fee or no fee. They get funding from the state and federal government. So once again, that's what you're going to need in the next few years, because a lot of social services are going to be cut. Even some of their money is going to be cut as well. But as long as they have some, you might as well get the help you need, or sometimes even have the help with down payment for a house. Some people would say a house is an asset. It's no asset, ladies and gentlemen, because you have to work for it. Now, if you have an asset that pays for it, that's the ideal that you need, right? Buy those assets that pay you, and you use that money to then pay for the liabilities. So what do you buy first? An asset. Because once you have an asset, that makes your life a lot easier, because you always have money coming in that you don't have to work for. The bonus is, if you do have a job and go work, you have the passive income coming in, plus whatever you're working on or who you're working for. If you're talking about your own business or W-2s or however you have to work, it's best to have passive income coming in no matter what. That goes a long way. All right. Now, let's get into the Federal Reserve tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They are no friend of yours, in my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is. The chat room is open all the time on our live streams. Everyone's welcome to put their 2 cents in the comment section. This is an open discussion, because a lot of people believe what Federal Chairman Jerome Powell is talking about today. But I got to give kudos to the reporters that ask questions, because the one question that a guy asked, and I was like, oh, they're not going to let him off the hook. They said simply, you said that your target rate is 2% for inflation. If you're talking 2.7, 2.9, which, by the way, those are the same numbers they've been giving out for the last 3 months now. It's higher than that. But anyway, he says, I thought your target rate was 2%. So how come you're reducing the interest rate if it's 2%? Doesn't that make it look like you're wishy washy? Something to that effect. I said exactly. He must have came and saw the school of assassination because that is wishy washy. Because they've always said if inflation is above 2%, they increase the federal fund rate. They don't reduce it. So again, they're going against what they've always said that they would do. Inflation rising, feds have to increase the interest rate. They didn't do it this time. That is bad news for you. Well, DOCs, ordinary citizens, it's bad news for you because it's very simple. If assets go up and only the wealthy can afford to buy them, you are frozen out of it. They buy more assets, they get more passive income, they build more wealth. You're on the sidelines because you don't have disposable income to buy assets. So, that right there in itself is how you create inequality wealth wise in America, which now turns into inequality by representation in America with the government. So, just keep that in mind how far this is going to go. And that's why you have 1 year, 3 months to go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You don't get to play around anymore. You better have your debt in order, better have that 775 credit score and higher. You better have another bank account or property or business outside of the country you live in. In this case, if you live in USA, you better have another off street. You're going to need it, an off ramp somewhere. All right. It's that simple. You are not going to be able to survive this next run up because the next run up is going to be off the charts. When's it going to run up? Luckily, it hasn't started yet because people are still in disbelief. But the corporations are not in disbelief. They're sitting there probably going to be asking the Fed for how about a interest only loan for 15 years? Is that okay? So that's going to be part of the equation as well. All right. Look who's in the house tonight. Another investor's here. Another person that loves that passive income coming in. And welcome to the SSN Nation EV Place Money Making Monday live stream. And you know, he has a tagline. Good evening, everyone. Let's make some money in here. That's what we're trying to do. But speaking of money, because EV Place, I have to be fully transparent. So remember the Forex trading 474, 221, 2225, 900 and some odd dollars. Well, last night was all of that profit wiped clear. Yes, it was a bad night in Autobot trading land. Consolidation, as EV Place knows, I had no business to even be in the markets, but I was hard headed. A learning experience for me. So, yes, we went from 1,019 down to 40 or 50 bucks, somewhere like that. I didn't even look. I couldn't even bear to look. I was left like, oh, it could be 30 bucks for all I know, but that's wiping out the 1,000 that was sitting there plus the profit. So, I basically now am back to zero. Where basically the 900 and some odd dollars that we made in profit wiped out. So we still have the original, but who cares about that? We wanted the 12 to 15 to $2,000 profit just from the one new bot. And so it was very, very bad. And the other bot stayed even pretty much. I mean, it was plus or minus $5. So no real profits to talk about. So it was very, very bad. But we're not out of the game. We're just going to wait and do what they say Friday and Monday. Okay, let's do it. So, anyhow, that's what we have to do. EV Place says, damn, sorry to hear that, but we doing crazy things for cents. Of course, it's science. Oh, yeah, crazy things for science. Exactly. It's science. So I learned something new because I've never done trading at all. But then I realized buy and sell. Sell is shorting, buy is buying. In other words, buy is bull run, meaning the market's going to go up. That's where you're going to get paid more money. And then buying or selling, you believe the market's going to go down. So I dabbled with that a little bit. It was interesting, but again, now I know how to actually do it. But of course, things were going all over the map yesterday. Not going up and down like usual. It was going up, middle, just going sideways and then drops. It was crazy. Ups, drops. It was erratic. But nonetheless, that's right. Crazy things for science, man. So, anyhow, so we are actually, well, okay. I got to talk about the, there's two bots, right? So, so I'm counting one. The other bot just stayed level. Like I said, there was no high, no low. So there's nothing to report. So basically, all the profit that I made from bot one, I mean bot two, is now gone. And then we still have the original 1,000 in the account, so we can do things on Friday. Now, if Friday the same thing happens, oh, now we now across the board go below 2,000 if it happens again in total profit between the two bots. That would be bad. All right. Um, so we're gonna revamp. I thought I had a perfect understanding of what I wanted to do. Well, in the name of science, it was a disaster. It was a disaster. But nonetheless, we get to play again. No problem. So if anybody knows what I'm talking about or don't know what I'm talking about, it's XAU, which is gold USD. We have an Autobot that I'm actually testing. Friends of ours have won money, and they've also busted busted their accounts and done several different things, detoured and did their own thing. So I'm sitting there like, okay, I kind of get it. I got it. In fact, I'm a lot better. I learned how to actually trade now, which is interesting. I was like, I called up my friends or my friend and said, hey, how do you short sale? Right? I didn't know. They go, oh, just hit the sell. You'll see. So I did the demo and I was like, oh, this is easy. Okay. Well, not really easy because you got to figure out why would it be going down. That's where you're going to make money, right? It's not that easy. So that's the one thing. That's the one thing. If the bot's doing random things, in my opinion, one is good enough. Yep, exactly. So that's the other thing. They moved differently, but again, it's expected because they're not going to have the same buy and sell orders, right? It's not going to match. They're not a mirror. So that is the other thing that makes this very, very interesting. So uh, now you need two bots to win all the time, which would be good because then you could have a lower win rate. You don't need to do 400 or 500 a week, let's say. You could just do a couple hundred and call it I'm done for the night. But then again, on another night, you might lose 4, 5, 6, 800 grand or something. So this is the type of high risk, high reward type of atmosphere that I have to say I love. I love because once I just I found out a guy made like $11,000 in one night using the Autobot, right? So I was sitting there trying to figure out how could he do this because what our settings are on, I didn't know what all the settings were. Like it was zero point zero 0.01 is just for every little zero point zero 0.01 is like a penny of, you know, a pip, I guess they would call it, right? My thing was after I realized that there were other numbers like zero point 0.1, other numbers like 0.40, you know, 20, 40, 80, $1, 150. You can actually have pips at that, but that's high risk, high rewards because what you get in the upside, you get in the low side as well. But in order to do that, he must have had it on some high number and the stock market must have ran up, because there's been two times that the stock market has ran up nicely late night or early morning in the last 2 weeks or so. And it was about 2 weeks ago that there was this guy that has the bot, and he ended up with 11 grand plus, a little 11.2, 11.3. And I'm like, how did he do that? From what I know, how? And then again, I found out he probably had it $1.20 or $2 or something. So, learned that as well. And so now I can implement some other things that I didn't even know about. I didn't know the lot size purchase and all that. And I'm like, hold on, this is different. In fact, if anybody wants to get in on this Forex, yes, they do even have a training course. Yes, they have a free course if you decide to buy a bot. So I'm still going to talk about the bot, even though I took an L. I know other people have taken an L for the day, but that doesn't mean I'm stopping, because we're still slightly ahead after I bought the second bot. So now we're close to the equivalent of one bot versus going for paying off the second bot. Now we're in reverse. Not good, in my opinion. I mean, it's a game, right? That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I'm looking at it. Or he put 5K instead of 1K to make 11K. No. What he did was, I saw he did a video. It was only like he had like 1K, $25 or something. That's what I thought originally. I thought it was 5K. And then they were like, no, he had a low setting, and I didn't know what they were really talking about. And I'm like, okay, something's not adding up, because it can't be the setting I have, because mine is 0.01, so it's minimal. Then when I find out that you can actually trade lot size, I was like, oh, now I get it. He had a high lot size. I was like, this makes perfectly good sense now. So on a run up, which he was on the day after we did 1800, so we were on 0.01. All he had to do was be at like what, 50.6 or zero point 0.5 for that same type of run up, and he would have had 10, 11 grand, right? That's the way I look at it. So he had a higher leverage. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So that, because they kept going, oh no, he only had like 1,000 something. I said, I saw that, but I was like, how would that happen? You would have to have almost a 5-time difference from the same thing we had. So it doesn't make any sense. I was like, that's crazy. So now I know. I found out, because I was doing some more studying after I took this L. I said, let me go study some more. And so I got some background. I got some new videos. I started checking. I was like, no way. All this time I could have been doing my own, changing my lot sizes for individual trades in-house while this stuff is going. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Let me get involved with this a little bit more. Post-retirement travels in the house. Another Forex trader, option income wheel trader, by the way. Welcome to the SSN Nation post-retirement travel on this Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do. We buy assets, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm still trying to figure out, am I going to classify this bot as an asset? I have to. I pay $5,000 was paid for 2 bots. That's right. That's how much the bots cost, $2,500 each. So it's an investment in reality. $5,000 in post-retirement travel. I almost blew both accounts. I blew one that's down to 30, $40 or something, $50. And my 900 and some odd dollar profit that we made the last 3 days, well, that's we're back to this, basically the same spot for that. And we're still, paid for one bot, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We don't care about that. We're trying to pay for 2 bots plus make more profits, right? So I call it an L. We can't win them all. But thank you so much for being in the house once again. EV, so bigger levers then. Yes, exactly. That's what he did, right? So I was like, how does it have a start with 1,000 and end up with 11? I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. Then I'm like, oh, you could change the sizes? I didn't know that thing flashing up there. I could actually do buy, sell, and go in and change sizes. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, then that changes the whole ball game. Well, kind of. It's high risk because the market can always change at any time, which is what happened last night. It would start popping up and then all of a sudden stop and then start coming back down even further, or one time rolling up higher, but it kept within a range. So then it would muddle, I called it muddle along and sideways. And I'm like, that not does nobody any good. Well, not me. So it was very, very interesting. Yes, you can do all the trading on your own, especially with all this technology around us. My understanding that you need to keep your lots to a minimum when starting. Stick with USD Euro. Yeah, exactly. It's a zero point zero 0.01 is what we were using, the small minimal one. So when we had that, well, it wasn't 1800 to you, but in the equity it shows 1800, which was the $874 day from bot one. That was the same day that that guy had 11,002 or three. And I was like, how could he do that? He only started with 1,000. He must know something I don't. What is it? Now, today, after a week or so goes by, I'm like, more than that. I'm like, oh, his lot sizes were bigger. They neglected to say that because I asked them, oh, did he have 5,000 like EV Play said? I said, oh, he must have started with a higher balance. They're like, no. I was like, send me over pictures, just video. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So that was the whole thing. The lot sizes. He was going for a higher, I mean, it would have been a bad downside. So he went for the upside and he won. And that worked out great for him. Uh, yeah, that's what I was doing, but I still messed up last night. Actually, there's something funny that happened last night. I was trying to uh, work on, I was doing some experimental stuff in reality. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? All I really care about is I want to see if I can do this buy and sell and things like that in one of the accounts. I was like, I'm just willing to make 150 bucks tonight and call it a day. I just want to see if I can implement this. So it went up to 150. So then I was like, oh yeah. So I hit the close button. The close button didn't work. And I was sitting there like, what the heck, for the software, the MT4. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck is going on? I'm like all over. So after that, next thing I know, it's going boom, 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 down, down, down. And I'm like, now the reverse is happening on the other side. So now no longer 150, 160, 140, 120, 110, 100. It was like going down, just like I'm speaking right now. That's how fast it was just dropping of the profit. And I'm sitting there like, what? Come to find out, when the close button was put on the screen, it didn't include the checkbox. Normally it's always checked. Nobody unchecks it. So this now it was unchecked. So therefore the live trading couldn't close. I was like, are you kidding me right now? This is crazy. So now I have to always check for live trading before I do anything, because apparently maybe I refreshed or maybe I do something and that certain things aren't implemented. So that was painful to watch also. But anyhow, learning on the fly, and luckily we had profits to boot. But now I can't really play anymore. I mean, I'm still gonna learn, but the point is, I have to be steady-handed at this point. I don't want to keep going, and I don't want to drop a G or two just playing around and not make any money. So we're still a little ahead, but we're trying to do 6, 7 Gs a month, 9 Gs, 10 Gs. We're not trying to do 1 G, right? So DIM Pals knows what I'm talking about. He's the option trader as well. He's sitting here loving life because the market should be giving him all he needs to make profits. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everybody. I smashed that like button and y'all ready for the ride. I'm ready for the ride. I'm very glad that you brought that up because the ride should be coming on arrival in the next 2 or 3 days, because there's been a little delay. I don't even understand it, but I love it because that delay helps ordinary citizens, because home prices aren't rising. That's a good thing. Car prices are already overpriced, so that don't really matter. Now People are going to have to figure out what assets are they going to buy that's going to pay them. And will the interest rate be lower? It will be, because the bond rate's lower. It's 4.0 or thereabouts. It's not 4.4 anymore. It's not 4.5. So they don't have to add their little zero point 0.5 or 0.7 or 0.1 or 0.1.5 onto the interest rate. No, they can reduce it a little. They've already done it. But a home is a liability. Just keep that in mind. All right. The ride is coming, DIM pals. Market is still on fuego. We're blowing up our accounts too, but going up. Melt up mode. I almost started currency trading once until I found out the option trading deal. No need to rock the boat. Exactly. Exactly. I started thinking this, to me, unfortunately, I have to admit, it's high risk, high reward. But at the same time, why go with high risk and high reward when you can go with minimized risk for high reward? Now that I know more than what I knew yesterday. So I was like, hold on a second. I could use less money, change lot size, and if I have a good ride, I can take chances. Instead of taking chances with the bigger amount, I can take chances with incremental amounts to get the same profits. I was like, oh my God, this is looking out very, very nicely. All right. We're going to talk about this EV place. ULTY still looks stable at 9 cents per share. It is stable. And again, ULTY, we're going to go look at something. Is it around $5? As long as it stays 5 to 5.50, should be good, right? That's the key right there. You got to be 5 to 5.50 or 6. Really, we want 6 if you got in later. But these things, and today it's probably going to go down after hours. So you know what's going to happen there. That's very, very interesting. Ooh. We got my stuff. Yeah, it's at 562. See, and it's going to drop after hours, as it just has already done, by only 3 cents, 3.5. But it looks bigger. But again, we're at $5.62. And if you start talking about 9 cents per, what are we talking about? $8, $10, $15. You're talking about 20 some percent, if that's, but they fluctuate. So yeah, it's stable. ULTY is one of the favorites. 5.62 after drop, exactly. And it's past my buy zone. Because like I said, you guys, my 52-week high was higher than this. Our 52-week low, sorry, was higher than this number. So I told you guys already, I hit the ejection button. And I just checked to make sure. I already hit my ejection button because I was higher than this at my purchase. So I said, keep the profits, keep the dividends, profit from stock, profit from dividends, put that over in the duffel bag of cash aisle. That's what we have to do out here, ladies and gentlemen. What we have to do. Dropped 9 cents, but already recovered. Yep. You know what happens after they announce after hours. It always happens. It goes down a little bit. Then tomorrow it goes down a little bit. Then Friday it might go down and then come back up. So we'll see what happens. You also need to find the sweet spot. For me, is to be consistent with your income. Stick to one strategy, become the expert at it. I would agree with that. That's what I found out, the hard lesson last night, because I started messing with individual trades while the Autobot was going, which there's nothing wrong with it. But I didn't really know what I was doing, other than I'd say, okay, this is a good time to enter. Sure, okay, good. I want some. But the fact is, there was hundreds of trades going on underneath. I would win that one. Great. But it's just that one. And I don't have a high ratio. I didn't have that high leverage. I wasn't up there at like $1.50 or $1. So when it went up, I got a little bit of profit. But if I had it at that higher number, now that I know, it would have been probably a few $100 profit. Big, big difference. And so now that I know that, but I agree with you 100%. I'm no expert at it. That's the problem. I'm over here doing science, trying to figure out where I fit in and feel comfortable. And then there's tried and true ways to do it, right? Or safer ways, I should put it that way. So now I'm thinking I'm going to go a safer route from now on, because there's no reason to blow the accounts. There's no reason to drop down so low. Just maintain money management totally throughout. So even if I have to stop the bot and go, okay, the way I looked at it now, I was like, wait a minute, I could have just dropped it and go, okay, 20%, maybe 25%, maybe. Things aren't working out, then just go, okay, that's it. Do it like a poker situation, right? Only use a certain number of your bankroll. Um, the funnier part is, um, there was somebody that had like 400, started with only like four or 500, something like that. And they turned it into 3 grand because they too were using this high leverage scenario. And so they got a ride, and that's how it happened. It's crazy. So now that I know you can do that, I'm going to be doing some individual trades during the night. But my favorite this week is Coney, 45 cents dividend. Yes, we haven't talked about the dividends just yet, talking about assets that pay you, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of them, right? Let's go bring up dividends for September 19th, Yield Max ETF. Every Wednesday we talk about this because this is an asset that pays you. You just need to invest. You need to have the disposable income, and it adds up. Oh, somebody else has entered the fray. Hold on a second. What is this? There's a new company trying to post up. It's not global news. This is dividendinvestor.com. Do they have the shares listed? I think they're talking about it. Hold on. We might have found some. No, no, no. We don't. All right. I thought we found somebody new, but we did not. Okay. Yomax ETF, September 19th. Dividends. And it's called Global something. Global News. Wire. There we go. 15 hours ago. Oh, they even went a day early. Is that the deal? All right, let's go. We have CONY, 45 cents. I thought that was 4.5. 45 cents is CONY. CVNY, $1.90. Yes, another nice one. Now we have DraftKings at $1.55, which 42% distribution. Fiat 18.98. They have something different. GMEY. I don't know what that is. No dividend this week. Hui, which is Robinhood, 3.8, $3.86. And Microsoft, 31 cents. Netflix, NFLY, 40 cents. And PayPal, PY, 31% distribution, 26 cents. And then, of course, the other ones, LFGY, 46%, still kicking at 65.5%. That stock price still about 50 low. It went down to, again, to the low 50s and right to 60, 61, 62. That fluctuates greatly, but their dividends hover around 50 cents. So 45 to 55 cents per week is what you get. Roughly about what, $1.80 to $2 some months. So you can start doing some numbers. If you're getting $24 a year, thereabouts, that's pretty good on a $60 stock, or $52 if you're lucky enough to buy it when it drops that low. So once again, 65.5%. So thank you for bringing that up, because we have others. So it's a very good distribution. They have SLTY, ultra shorts options, 55 cents, 65.24 distribution. YMAG is 13.9 cents, very nice. YMAX, 12.89 cents, which is very nice. ABNY 24 cents. So all these are pretty good. All right. Nice ranges. Dividends, ladies and gentlemen. You want some dividends? You can always go with others. You can go with those real estate investment trusts. I'm a high proponent when the Federal Reserve starts reducing interest rates. I love going with REITs. Go do your own research and check it out yourself, but that's just for me because they're going to refinance their loans. They're going to squeeze out more profit that they can pay to the dividend holders of their stock. So, ORC, ARR, high risk, high rewards, ARR, ORC, AGNC, which is actually kind of lower. I don't know why. PSEC has gotten hit badly with their stock price. They need much needed help. The Capital Group, so they need a lot of help, and that will help their stock price as well. And I have lots of shares of theirs, so that makes me, since they're down, that's the one thing I did not sell when I went down. I was like, nah, I got a lot of shares that I've been accumulated, so I'll just ride this out until the Feds cut their rate. Then these guys can go in and borrow at a lower rate, and now they can pay out more dividends. Their stock price will start creeping back into the positive, and all should be good. That's the way I look at it. A NLY, AGNC, just to name a few. Probably missing IVR, high risk, high rewards. Eric, Global is sharing numbers every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. So numbers before 8 p.m. Ex dividend hour. I love it. I love it. Exactly. You're right about that. You are exactly right. Everybody, and a lot of people play the dividend game. They know they can have it expire. You got to buy the stock before 8 p.m. tonight, which is already passed. Then on Friday, you're going to get a dividend. And what happens is between the buy on Wednesday, then people sell it because all they care about is that profit from the dividends, and then move on and buy something else, right? And they bounce. Scalp is what I call it. So, yes, pretty nice. And that's why the stock on Wednesday night after hours in the Yilmax family usually go down a little bit. All right. So, back to the Forex before I forget. Yeah, we took a L last night while I was in my education mode. The profit that we won from the second bot basically is we're back to like it's almost zero, because again, I blew that in it as like 30, 40, 50 bucks. I didn't even look. I haven't even done the calculations, but that's how close it was to zero. Could have easily been zero, but so is $30 when you have 1,000, right? So it's 30 or 40 or 50 bucks. It's no more than that. And you know what? Actually, I can go look. Why don't I just go look? I can actually find out what it was. It was bad. I'm not gonna sit there. I told you guys we can't win them all. So let me see what it was. I'll tell you guys exactly what it was. All I know, it was bad. And luckily I did some, and it would have been worse. I had some what did I have on there? I had something that was nice. I had sell, and it dropped so low, the stock price, that it actually kicked in a win for me on that side of the fence. It was crazy. Crazy. So again, okay, here's the number. $20.95. That's what's in the account. So yeah, it's $1,000. All the profit's gone. Now I have to use on the second bot. So now I have to use my money is at risk, which it already is, but my money's at risk officially because now the bot's 2,500. The $1,000 is gone from the profits. So we're back to square one. Except if I blow this next one, then that means I actually paid. It then starts adding up $4,500 if I include the profit as part of what I invested, right? So that would not be good, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to have to get better. And of course, we're going to do it. But yeah, $20.95. All right. It's that simple. Full disclosure. All right. But again, it's an Autobot. It's designed to do different things. And so I was sitting there making other trades myself, but this wasn't in any significant magnitude. It was just micro trades for all intents and purposes. All right, here we go. Post retirement travel says I also like FEPI, SPYI, QQQI. These all have been consistent dividends. FEPI has been over 97 cents per share. There we go. This is why you need a pen, pad, and paper, ladies and gentlemen, because of post retirement travel and all the others. They might mention like EV Place, mention CONY that you need to go check out, ULTY. And now post retirement travel is joined in the fray, saying this is what we do out here. Passive income profits is what's needed. The Federal Reserve has made it possible for you to win. You can't sit on the sidelines, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have a brokerage account yet, shame on you. There's apps everywhere. Robinhood, Webull, Moo. And if you want to do a set it and forget it and don't even deal with stocks, Wealthfront. That's right. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to add the links down below in the description box just for you guys. Can't have you guys, taking L's out here. Get your free shares of stock too. Robinhood gives you one free share of stock. Webull and Moo give you more than one. So do what you will with that. But you do have to deposit with Webull and Moo. Moo makes you hold $100 or more in your account for 2 months before they'll give you their 5 or 6 free shares of stock. And then also, Webull has started doing that too, but Webull has these fractional shares. They have promotions all the time. Sometimes they're like, here's 15 fractional shares, here's 5 shares. So again, but you have to make a deposit to get your free shares of stock. The links are now down below in the description box if you're watching from YouTube. Everybody on podcasts, your favorite channel, the iHearts, the iTunes, and all that, you're going to have to look down below wherever you are watching on a desktop or phone. If you're in your Sirius XM, well, sorry. All right. Now, there's more to the stories, ladies and gentlemen. Wealthfront put in $500. They manage it for free. There's no management fee up until $4,999. When you reach $5,000, then they charge you a management fee. I think that's fair. So there's Webull. Set it and forget it, not a stock. It's very simple. Also, in the box down below, you'll find what we talked about, the Forex trading, the bots. It's very simple. I'm going to have to put this in the chat room so everybody can get it there. Here we go. Go sign up for CoinX. That's your broker, so to speak. That's where you upload your crypto to. So it can be Tether. What's the other one? USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. I'm missing somebody. Bitcoin Cash. And I'm still missing Dogecoin. All those you can upload to. Make it very simple. That's CoinX. And they also have, you can do internal transfers. Also, you can do a bunch of things. And they send you money within a few hours, as long as it's not Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So once again, I downloaded, simple, uploaded, simple, get paid, no problem. All right. So that's where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. So I left the link for CoinX, and if you want to get the bot, let me do that too. You can go register here. You sign up. They send you the information. Even if you're not new, they have a course that kind of gives you some information, and it's very good. And you should also do the demo. So you understand how the software works backward and forwards before you go live trading. Because last night I had a mishap because I forgot that there's every time you open up something to like a close button or go to live trading and open it, there's a checkbox that says allow live trading. Well, I guess I refreshed something. And so the check boxes weren't there. So when I was trying to close out from the early wins, because I was just going to call the night because I really wanted to test that buy and sell. So after I was like, oh, we're ahead, let me just stop. I'll deal with this in a couple days. I like what it because I wanted to study more. Next thing I know, things wouldn't close out. Things were going all over the map. And I'm just like, oh, no, this is not good. And then, of course, I didn't just do what I should have done, just close it out and call it a day, even if it was a small L. It turned into a big L. So those are the lessons that I should have known better. But it's okay. It's probably because you're more lenient when you're up, right? So Eric, you'll start trading on your own and drop the bot, or do both? Both. The only reason both is because the bot actually does buy, sell, and it actually works. Like we had profits. Oh, I lost track. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. We have 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm missing something. 10. So we have 10 trading days in this little experiment, which is nothing on the overall scheme of things. So, um, so the bot, it appears 8 out of 10 days positive. The other 2 negative. So where I come from, if I can maintain even 60 or 70% win rate, I could take L's on certain days, depending on how many days we're doing it. This is how poker works the same way. When I had 60% win, that's significant. Then when it drops to 40, 40, 35, 30, because I'm losing to edge. I'm losing to people who have learned the game after years that went by. They started studying. And maybe my skill set isn't as great as it once was. But the fact of the matter is, when it got to 30, that started being like, okay, why am I kind of like doing this? Because now I have to do twice as long to maintain the same equivalent of what I used to do with 60%. So this is the same scenarios, the way I should look at it. But that's why I'm going to do both. But not, I shouldn't even say I'm going to be doing both. Really, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be utilizing while the Autobot's on late night. But now I just changed it. It was set for London Stock Exchange, and it closes out at like 8 a.m. I think it is, or 7 a.m. Pacific. It auto closed. So on one of them, on the bot one, bot two, which I call mine, bot two, I changed the dates. So I was running after the London Stock Exchange closed because now I'm understanding the software. So I said, oh, I could just change it. What am I doing here? So checking out the software, it's MetaTrade 4 is what the bot uses. So again, if you want to register, go register at goldrushregister.info. Put in your man, me, Eric Bird is the referral. Yes, they do have referrals. It's $2,500 for the bot, lifetime license. It's about to go up. Yeah, I know, crazy. And they have a 1 year for 1,000. Take your pick. Uh, I know, it's your own way you do it. I just went with 2,500 because then I could just always have it. It's an investment the way I look at it. So I can always trade, even though MetaTrader 4 is actually free, right? But the bot is what I'm paying for. And the bot did something last night that I didn't know it did. And I'll tell you guys about it right now. Good idea. Do both and compare. Exactly. Also, recommend you can probably keep a log of your trades and soon you'll narrow it down to what works for you. Trading is fun when you know what the hell you're doing. Exactly. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, we used to have something where you can, even back 10 to 15 years ago, Bots were actually out already because you played online poker and the information was every time there's a hand played, there's information. You can do a replay. So the bots were able to read the replays. So then you can see the player's hands. And so that would give the person running a bot an advantage because now it starts calculating what they're doing. And that's where things got crazy. And that's why now WPT Club comes out and they go, no bots. And I start laughing. I'm like, yeah, because WPT, they went away and there used to be WPT Club, I think they called it, in the late 2000, 2009, 8, something like that. And now they're back talking about no bots. And I just started laughing. I'm like, yeah, I remember guys who were starting to use bots and starting to get information faster. So before you would have to watch the table. Now you can just program something and it starts telling you everybody at the table what their win rates are, what their, I mean, it gives you a whole bunch of things because you could see it and it's on the replay and the hands go back. So even if somebody sat at the table, you could see hands that started an hour ago. So therefore, that bot could gather up all the info and it would gather the info that's online that they would have at the poker forums and at the, what did they call them? 2+2 forum and, oh, them guys in Europe, they would track people online and offline. So it would just grab the info, known nicknames, right? Because your online screen name is different than your real name, right? So it would grab the info of what your names are when you play online, and then they would implement that into live play that's posted when you play in a tournament. It was crazy. And so that's why I find it funny that there's bots even now that's doing trading and doing all this crazy stuff. And you can do chat GPT and ask them for a bot now. How crazy is that? That's beautiful. All right. Anyhow, Gold Rush register.info if you want one of these bots. And they do have a nice, extensive training platform where you can go in, even if you know a little bit. And that's where I've just found out because I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know I missed out on all this extra free training. And that's when today I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, are we kidding right now? A higher lot size? That's how this guy did this 11,000 in the same night we did like 874. How? And now I find out lot size. That's how. And when they go, oh no, he only used 1,025 or something like that, I'm like, how? Now I know he had probably $1, 50 or whatever it is, or more as his leverage points, lot size. So that explained the whole thing. He was taking high risk with high rewards and got the win. And I'm not mad at him. It's a beautiful thing. All right, back to the Fed cut rates, ladies and gentlemen. What are you going to do about it? You're just going to sit on the sidelines and watch the parade go by, or are you going to try and figure out how to get some assets? And like Post Retirement Travel so eloquently has said here, once you know what you're doing, trading is fun. Trading is fun when you know what the hell you're doing. And see, that's what the deal is because once I started realizing, I was like, this isn't that hard after all. All this time I was thinking it was something else. The one thing was no MetaTrader. No, I never thought about getting the software first of all. If I'd have gotten the software, I would have been messing around in demo mode with a lot of different things. I would have figured it out. But after I saw the little training, I was like, oh, light bulb goes off. Okay, I can change mine. I'm like, now we're talking. Now we're ready to rock and roll. Oh, not ready rock and roll. I'm still learning. So we're going to find the strategy that works for me, like post retirement and EV Play says, and then we go from there. But this is a science experiment for me. But I can only go so far with the science experiment. I don't like taking L's. I mean, we're going to take L's, but now this could possibly be into the treasury fund if I take some more L's that way. So we don't want to go more further that way. We have still profit, but it's slimming down. So we can't have any more 1,000, 2,000. Well, we never had a 2,000, but we can't have another 1,000 because now all the profit would be gone. So now we're back to using all of our money, which 2.5 times 2 is 5 G's. $2,000 accounts, that's 7 G's. So 7 G's to run an experiment. Some people would say that's not the best use of, of, of profit making. So we're going to find out, though. We're going to keep going. So I'm going to let you guys know. So what I did was not tonight, but tomorrow night, as they recommend, Thursday night trading. So Friday night, I'll be able to tell you, did we make a comeback or what? We back on the positive train. 8 out of 10 times we've been positive. If we can keep up that scenario, I could live with a crazy night, even if I went to sleep. Because that would be 5 or 6 G's, something of that nature. So we can live with that on a monthly basis, if after an L of a G. So that's not bad. That could work for me. All right, let's see. Now, after you know the federal rate they cut, which is a travesty, by the way, you're screwed. I should just say this: you're screwed, American citizens. This is not a win. The reason why is I sat there and I watched Jerome Powell sit on the podium and start talking about 2.9, 2.7% inflation rate and acting like it's no big deal and acting like the labor market that he has says that because the immigrants aren't around and nobody wants to take those jobs, we have weak job. I was like, hold up. I was like, wait, they're not even on the rolls, so to speak. What are you talking about right now? Okay, so they do pay payroll taxes and they don't get Social Security and all that stuff. I get you, but not all. So that's where I'm like, hold on, how are you counting the immigrants, all of the immigrants, like part of this? There's a huge labor problem in America. Uh, there's not enough livable wage jobs. So when Jerome Powell's sitting up there going, well, it's all 4.3% is good for the employment rate, but we have a problem with the immigrants that we need to replace those. And I'm like, right, but you just said 4.3%, which is the same as last month, the month before that, pretty much. So what are you saying? It doesn't make any sense. Something had to have changed. If you're saying it went down, how come you're not saying the employment rate went up if you have more jobs available? What's the problem here? There's a problem. He's walking a tightrope, and I don't know why, but they don't care because they buy equities. They're going to have the rocket ship ride. If you don't have equities, you're not going to have our rocket ship ride. It's that simple. So that's why he can say whatever he wants now. He used to be like a guy of integrity, I thought. Until this time, I'm like, he's dancing. He's dancing, saying tariffs are going to be okay and inflation's going to kind of come down. And I'm like, how? How? It's not going to come down. This is insanity right now. This is clown talk right now. I'm like, you put a tariff up. That means prices go up to the corporation or the importer. They are not going to eat seriously, they're not going to eat that tariff. No, they're going to pass it to the consumer in one way or another. You know what one way is? So somebody would say, oh, they're just going to eat the tariff. I said, are they really going to eat the tariff? Or when you go to the store, it's, hey, I need some help. Hello, 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 hello. Because employee cost is a lot. So we'll just take off 20% of the workforce to cover the tariff. So now it's hello, hello, hello at the grocery store. Hello, hello, hello at any store. Right? That's what's gonna that's what basically is gonna happen. It comes in another form. So you can call it what you want, eat whatever, but they're not gonna eat it. It's just that there's gonna be less services. That's what's going to happen. It's pretty simple. This is not like rocket science. So for him to go, oh, it's no big deal. I'm like, dude, you're not even doing what you said. 2% was your target. How can we be at 2.7, 2.9, and 3 something when the PCI comes out? I'm like, these guys are dancing with the devil. And unfortunately, the devil means you guys are getting hurt, ladies and gentlemen. It's already happening for the farmers. Now it costs us more in food because the farmers can't sell their crops and they're wasting away. It's a trickle down effect. This is all not taken into account by our Federal Reserve chairman that sat up there doing this snowflake stuff, dancing. I was like, dude, what are you doing right now? You know good and well you're supposed to raise the interest rate. What are you doing right now? So you just don't care. You're just going to be like, inflation is 3.5 and that's good. I'm like, what are you doing right now? You're done. We're almost cooked, ladies and gentlemen. You have 1 year, 3 months to get this done. So just remember, the Federal Reserve cutting rates in September 2025. That's why I put the date in, because I want people to come back here about a year from now. So then they can see it and they're going to be like, how could Powell say these things? That doesn't make sense. All right, let's get back to it. Wealth builders, are you paying attention? So you got to get your stocks, you got to get your gold, you got to get your little bit of silver, you got to get a little bit of crypto. You got to get passive income. Bizbuysell.com. That's a website. Bizbuysell.com. You got to get a business. Some of those businesses you can take over payments, owner financing. Highly suggested, because you can always walk away while you're doing owner financing. If you're not making the profits that they said you might make, you can always say, oh, well, you can have it back. Yeah, I'm going to take an L on whatever the investment I provided, but hey, I'll let you take this ball and you can file the bankruptcy. All right, I'm not. So those are the things right there, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to do this. You got 1 year, 3 months. That's it. 775 credit score. Let's talk about that. You're going to need to get your credit in order. They already have special credit card deals that's coming in the mail now. Interest only for 18, 21 months, 24 months, and special other perks. 0% interest is major, especially if you can get 21 months, 24 months. 2 years of something I bought in 2025 money, and I'm paying 0% every month. So my full payment is paying down my debt on that charge card if I used one. That is major. 2 years. And you're going to be paying in 2026 money and 2027 money, because remember, we're devaluing our currency every day. So the amount that you would have due 2 years from now is way less than if you had to pay it now. That is why the federal government never pays off the debt, or attempts to, because the longer they can do interest only payments and not have any consequences, they're going to be like, well, $40 trillion in 2050 is the equivalent of like five. That's what they're going to do. Oh, here's five, because they're going to be making it in 2050 number if the empire lasts that long. Because right now, the declining empire, there's a problem, Houston. And that's why I suggest you guys get something offshore, bank accounts, businesses, or real estate. You have to get something outside of America, because you don't know what's going to happen. A lot of expats are moving all over the world. And you want to know why? Because a lot of countries have a simple way to get residency by simply saying either I have X amount in my bank account, or I'm buying some property over here, or starting a business investment over here, or I make $1,500 a month or $2,500 a month coming in. So therefore, they'll give you residency for year to year. And then that's when your mind gets blown, because, you go places and they're like, yeah, well, you can have healthcare for like $75 a month for you and your whole family. Why'd you just say right now? Stuff like that. But that's what we're talking about. Okay, today we received, oh my, the 2025-2026 property insurance documents. Yeah, tell me about it. It went up to $450 from current one. Of course it did. A few years from now, who will be able to afford it? This is serious, team. Exactly, post-retirement travel. By the way, speaking of that, I talked to, oh my goodness, AAA insurance. My insurance on vehicles went up 50%. I was like, I called up and I said, hey, did did we miss a payment or something? I don't know what this is. What's this number right here? She's like, oh, didn't you hear? The state of California, they allowed the insurance company to increase their prices like 40%, 50%. I was like, oh no. I'm like, are you serious with this right now? 50% for car insurance. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It is serious. It is serious. It is serious. The property taxes went on one of the houses double. It's insane. I was like, how is this? This is double from last year. What are you doing right now? I'm just I'm just like this is not sustainable for anybody. Not sustainable. So long as you know it's not sustainable, you now know how serious it is. You need to make sure you get passive income or get skills that you can make money without having to work at a location. Because again, the only thing that's going to start happening is people are going to start being laid off more and more. All right. Because that's where they can cut massive amounts of money. This is why you hear Silicon Valley and a lot of corporations talking about, well, we're going to lay off 1,000 people. That's how they keep their revenue or profit margins higher. We're going to lay off 1,500 people. Right? That's how it works. There is no magic bullet when you raise prices. No magic bullet. Nobody's going to be absorbing anything. It's a trickle down no matter how you slice it. All right. Your transportation is going to cost more. Your energy is going to cost more because now the transportation and the energy needs to work more. And now they're going to have to charge more. So you guys have gotten your electric bills and your gas bills, and you see specialty numbers now. You're like, did you really change my peak hours now? You mean midnight to 6 a.m. is now peak? No, I'm only playing. But that's what they're doing. They're changing your peak hours. They might have only been like 11 a.m., not 11 a.m., but like 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at night, right? When you get off work, right? Now it's like 12 to 9 at night is peak hours. So now these other time zones charge you more. They're getting away with it. Insurance companies are getting away with it or not insuring you at all, putting you in even more jeopardy. Everybody's getting in on this. You got health coverage, they're making you pay more or not have health coverage because you just got jacked by the big, beautiful bill and don't have Medicaid or Medicare coverage any longer. 15 million to 20 million of you, some of you will be watching this when you go down. In fact, when you go to the hospital, if you have a doctor's appointment at the hospital, I highly suggest you call now to make sure, even if it's next month or 2 months from now, you better call to make sure that your doctor still accepts your insurance. All right. This has happened to us. It happened to a few friends. They called up for their appointment 2 weeks before just to go, yeah, we're coming in. And they're like, you're not going to be covered for this. What do you mean? Oh, your doctor has changed. They don't accept your coverage and they change to another insurer. And I'm just like, are you serious with this right now? The other insurer gives more money. That's why they did it. But you wouldn't have, if there was no call, wouldn't have known. Would have showed up that day. They would have said, I'm sorry, you can't be seen because they no longer have this. You can pay out of pocket though. See, this is what's going down. A lot of people don't realize what's about to happen to millions of people. And that's why we have a problem, Houston. It's a big time problem. Robert T. Speller Jr., my man's in the house. I always want to say, that's what I always want to say. That's the man right here, ladies and gentlemen. You can go find him on LinkedIn. But first, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, pick up AI tools. Oh, very, very good advice. Get in on the trend before it's not a trend exactly. And that's probably going to take jobs from people as well eventually. But you might as well learn what's next. Those are going to have nice paying livable wage jobs. And all of the software that we're going to be using is partially AI, even right now. They started implementing some AI tools into a lot of places, online, offline, that has to do, even your phone does this stuff when they're doing pictures and copying things. And I'm like, what's this AI thing right now? AI overview when I'm copying something from Google. Google's using AI. It's crazy. But anyhow, if you're a business, if you're a startup, go see my man Robert T. Speller Jr. Go to LinkedIn, hit him up, say, hey, I need some help with implementing my software. He does that, but he probably does a lot of other things that can help you. Go show some love. But I'm glad to see you. Hopefully everything's going well, Spell. Okay, post-retire Eric, like you keep saying, we all have to secure more income or we won't make it. Nobody will be able to retire. That's exactly what's happening. 80% of the population living paycheck to paycheck. I can't even wait till the numbers come out after 2025. I think it's going to be something crazy because we already know you put hardship on people that are on Medicaid and they're on Medicare and they're having their services cut off. And now they don't have a job, but they're maybe injured, disabled, and all that. What is going to happen? Now, who's going to, where are they going to be at? I mean, this is dangerous waters that we are in. We're talking about 15 million, 20 million people could be starving, could be, I mean, on the streets. I mean, this is insane when you think about it, and more to come. Because if you don't have livable wage jobs, then it's almost turns into how do you go to work when you can't even pay for rent and food? I mean, that's where this starts going. It's like you have to live in a communal environment. I mean, this is crazy. Nobody's going to retire. Good. And you, all good, man. Over here in Vegas, uh, helping family. My aunt is sick, so we're going to be here for a little while and chilling, you know? So, all's good, man. Be in Cali, though, next month. Doctor's appointment, checkups, making sure everything's good. And I know it's going to be good. I mean, let's get real. Soft hands, no back is messed up and nothing's messed up. So let's get real. Blood pressure is like 120 over 69 ish. We're good. No pills needed. We're good. All body functions work properly. We're good. So I know when the test comes, we're good. Uh, but we have to do it, right? Best to monitor just to make sure there's not something internally that happens that we don't know about. All right. Just so you know, health is wealth too, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people, like I was saying, that's not going to have Medicare or Medicaid coverage. Oof, they're going to find out real quick how much health is wealth. Whether, you can't say what happens, but that's how it goes. Nice. Yeah, man. So I didn't catch you last time I was in Cali. So maybe this time I'll come down to the Bay a little bit, by the Bay, and come see you, man. All right. Be over there for like a week probably. Something like that. In October. Middle of October. So be back in Cali. Perfect weather, pretty much. I got a hoodie though, just in case. All right. But anyhow, man, very nice to see you once again. Now, without the family affair, that's right. We're not family by blood, but we're still family. We went to high school together. So thank you, Robert T. Spell Jr., for being in the house. Um, Appreciate it. So here we go. The last thing, your credit needs a little help down below in the description box. Smart Credit is a credit monitoring system. It helps you out, all three credit bureaus. It has identity theft fraud for you and everybody that lives in your household or have the same address at your household for their credit. Um, Hiring index score, FICO 8 score for a vehicle. Now, come on, stop. Do not buy a vehicle and have a 10-year note, 8-year note. Forget about that. All right. You're going to be paying like triple, almost 2.5 to 3 times the amount after you do this. This is crazy. All right. Don't do it. Just go and be sensible, reasonable, ladies and gentlemen. This is sensible, reasonable era. That's a t-shirt I think I need to make, right? Sensible, reasonable era. Financial literacy and financial money management is mandatory going forward. You need to know, just count like post-retirement travel said. Your insurance is going to go higher for sure. Your property tax is higher. Insurance for cars and home and boats and automobiles and motorcycles, all this is going to be higher. You just don't know how much higher. Like today, I found out on the renewal, 50% more. And I'm like, what? What is this? I thought I missed a payment. That's what I thought. I was like, did I miss a payment or something? I was like, what is this? They're like, no. It's 50% more now. The state of California allowed the insurance companies to increase 50%. I was like, no, this is crazy. The commission is not doing what they're supposed to. But if you want good credit, ladies and gentlemen, there's a few links down below that can help you get there. Smart Credit is a monitoring system that can help you get there. It tells you when to pay during the month to increase your credit score. That's helpful. Just saying. All right. So you have tools at your disposal down below, along with findhelp.org. Go over there, check it out. Nonprofits help you out with a lot of different things. Put in your zip code and you'll see I am not lying in most instances. All right. A lot of some zip codes don't have a lot of services. Then others in cities always have a lot. So that's what makes it very, very special. And findhelp.org. So I'm going to put this in the chat room as well. Let me see. Where's my Find Help at? Oh, the grants. Because they have grants helps. They help you with grants. Find Help. Come on. Where's my findhelp.org? I don't have it. Here we go. Grants. Whoa, what happened? Okay. They don't like me tonight. There we go. Oh, and also, what the heck is going on? I'm doing all kind of different things up back here. I can't answer that. Grants. Here we go. I'm going to put this. Oh, okay. Here we go. In the chat room for those of you who are interested in grants. Let's go. Yeah. So, I got a call tomorrow just to check on a new auto insurance carrier because I'm like, this is not acceptable. Not acceptable. For the renewal, I'm like, nah, I don't know. I'll talk to you tomorrow about this because now we go scouting. Crazy. That's what we're dealing with. But anyhow, you guys see the findhelp.org. All right. There was a joke in Europe how to fix hunger and unemployment. The hungry people have to eat unemployed. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Tamara Larry, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Monday live stream. And she brings her tagline this evening. Hello, all. Hello to you. And hopefully everything's been going great with you and the family as well. Very, very happy to see you once again. All right. Grants, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Findhelp.org. Put in your zip code. And, caregivers, mental health, 211 on your phone. 211. Let me know how long you'll be in Vegas, boarding LA to Oakland. Peace. All right, man. We'll have a safe flight back to Bay Area. All right. Nice. I'll let you know, man. It'll be like a week. Middle of October. I haven't even booked the flight yet, but getting ready to. All right. check root insurance. Okay. See, ladies and gentlemen, you never know when you have some valuable info. Root insurance, never heard of them, but hey, I'm going to check them out because I don't want to pay this extra 50%. That's ridiculous. Now, 5 or 10%, okay. 50? No, not happening. Not happening. I was beginning to think, I'm like, you know how you think of the cars. You're like, what do they do? Add something about my, I got in an accident when I didn't or something? Or is there a ticket that I got that I don't know about? I'm like trying to rationalize how my price is more. And then when I call them and they tell me something crazy, like, oh, yeah, they're charging 50% more. I'm like, oh, no, that's a problem. I will check root insurance. Eric, ask your insurance guy about low mileage discount. Yes, that is another problem. I was like, don't even drive the cars. That's the crazy part. They do have that, but I didn't even find out how much it was because I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to have you regardless. But I'm going to check around tomorrow. Then I'm going to call them up and find out everybody. But yeah, they have that, and we qualify. That's not a problem. Don't even drive 5,000 miles a year in the cars. It's crazy on any vehicle, quite frankly. So it's like not, and some in storage and stuff. So after some negotiation, you drop my car annual from 750 to 550. Well, there you go. Man, 750 to 550 annual. I don't know where you live, but that has never been a thing. Like, that has never been a thing. I'm like, wait a minute. What kind of where is this? Who what? That's crazy. Never, never, ever. Maybe semi-annually, that's the number, but never that number annually. Good God, man. That's beautiful. California just requires liability, right? Except for new cars, correct? Maybe you just need to do liability only. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what liability only. That's what I'm saying. 50% more. Oh, by the way, let me tell you something else. This is hilarious. Liability only. They increased the coverages in the state of California. So you can't have you know how when you have a car and they have those standard, if you have a loan on your vehicle, they have those standard coverages, right? I generally just keep those standard coverages even though I don't have a loan. So I'm like, it's all good. That is the point. They said that you had to increase the coverages so then they can raise the price. This is crazy. But yeah, this is wild. But here's what's even funnier. EV Place just said 750 to 550. Liability only. I'm going to tell you what mine is. Check this out. That's why I was like, did something happen? I'm like, something's not right. What's going on? Here's what mine is. If I go with these guys, $1,920 annually. Exactly. Liability only because the cars sit. We have cars in fact, the cars are in different states. So we're not in, like right now, we're in Vegas for like a month already. Gonna be here another month. So those cars are just sitting. I'm paying liability for cars that are sitting in storage areas. And it's 1920 just for that. Liability only in California. Not every state does the same thing. California made them have mandatory charges. They raised them so people are covered. So I'm like, that's what I pay. He's talking 750, 550. I'm like, well, where? I never paid 750 or 550 20 years ago annually. And that'd be $500, $50 a month. Never. That never happened. Always the lowest ever was probably 89, 90. And we're talking like 20 years ago, at least. That's crazy right now. Massachusetts. Oh, how would I not know? But yeah, post-retirement travel, you hit it right on the head. That's what I had. That's when I said, did they, all this stuff you're thinking. I'm like, how could this be? Nah, there's something wrong. They can't be this. It can't be this number. There's something wrong. Yeah, 50%. That's right. You've heard right. It's craziness. Craziness. So yeah, it was like 1100, somewhere like that. Now it's 19. Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 1200 actually, 1200 and something. So yeah, crazy stuff to be like $700 more. They're losing their mind. Uh, no, 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 that's not full. No, that's what I'm saying. It's liability, man. That's it. It's like it's crazy. MAPFRE, map for real. I don't know what that means. Okay, well, if that's some insurance company, I'll write it down just in case. Map FRE, just in case. I don't know what that is, unless it's initials. Remember, I'm old, man. And I'm just bundled up with my house insurance. Yeah, but you're in Massachusetts, man. That's why. Yes. 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 Wait, 1920. Yes. How many cars are you talking about? Two. Two. That's it. Two. The one that's I have a classic, not really a classic, but older car that's getting fixed up. So I don't even put that even on there because it's in a shop. Uh, there's all kind of things I got. Motorcycle, I don't ride, so I don't have that insured. If I did, my God, it would be like 20. Who knows how much? 2,400 liability, ladies and gentlemen, not full coverage. This is liability only, only. Yeah, exactly, 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 exactly. Imagine if I had my motorcycle, and other vehicles on this thing. It'd probably cost me 4 G's a year or something. And by the way, the cars aren't new. I don't I don't do new cars. They're older than 5 years, 7, 8, 9, 8 years old. Of course they have low miles and stuff, but so what? But the point is, they're 8 years old, they're not even new cars. So I don't even know what somebody would have to pay if they had a newer car. That would even be crazy. Or 3Gs to have full coverage. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. So just saying. And the California approved it. Yeah, bundled up with. See, that's another thing. I think I'm gonna have to do something different like that. It would be lower, but in California, I don't know how much lower. Because if my liability is that, oh my goodness, I can only imagine everybody else is probably in the same ballpark. 1,500 maybe, 1,400 annually. Yeah, okay, great. Been paying that. That used to pay that for full coverage, quite frankly, with 4 vehicles, motorcycle on there. Used to be 1,200 a year. But this is a while ago. This is like 10, 12 years ago. And before, 4 vehicles and a motorcycle. Crazy how times have changed. But this is what I'm talking about. Nobody's coming to save you. So you're going to have to be like this. No fear, no excuses. You know where you can get this at stopstrugglingnnow.com. We have gear, ladies and gentlemen. And we have memberships now. We're back monetized by YouTube. Google said all of a sudden out the blue, welcome to the YouTube partner program. I was like, what? What's this? Are you serious right now? I thought I was banned. I thought I was the bad guy. What happened? Nothing changed. But now they said, okay, you can have it back. I said, thank you very much. I love it. Yes, full coverage. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, some of your cars, Eric, I'll lease them back to you. Hey, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. That's funny. That won't help me though. Well, kind of would. Yeah, I could sell the cars over. Yeah, you can be in Massachusetts, pay a third. Thank you. I appreciate that opportunity. Hey, I might do that. I will lease them back to you. Nice. Okay, I won't get carried away with paperwork. I could always just use your address. I'm just saying. Oh no, Eric, you have to do something about that. That's armed robbery. Seriously, I can only imagine brand new luxury cars. Exactly. That's what now you understand what I was saying. Like, did you? What happened? Now, when I saw the numbers, I was like, "What's going on?" So, wait, what are they doing now? They think I got some extra stuff. Did they add something? Did they make a mistake about a traffic ticket, which I don't have, or something? I was like, and that lady goes, "No, no, nothing like that." I'm like, "Oh, geez, it's worse." Oh, I can only imagine if these were like 2024, 2025 vehicles. Ooh, ooh, and had that full coverage too. Oh, ew, this would be bad. It's probably three G's. Three G's has to be for two cars. It would be, and it's only because the cost of repairs are outrageous. Just like a home, they're outrageous. So the insurance companies start picking and choosing who their customers are, and then they jack those customers. That's how it works. So again, the crumbling empire, ladies and gentlemen. You do realize that's where we're at. So get those assets. You have to 1 year, 3 months to get your assets, get your credit score 775, get your bank account offshore, get your real estate or business offshore, and join the other guys. The United States got all upset because Venezuela is going to be able to use their currency against other countries and don't have to use the US dollar. So now the US can't sanction Venezuela. So can you believe the federal government is whining? And I'm sitting there like, don't these guys know that the US dollar is only 54% of all currency? And the most BRICS is formed because their currencies are 1.5 or less. Even China's currency is only like probably 2% now, but it's not even that. And so everybody else's is less than theirs. So combined, they're probably only 10% of the currency in the world. But now US and its allies cannot do this. We're going to blockade you economically to do what we want you to do because you have to buy our dollars. Now they're like, ha ha, not so fast. And we don't want to play no more. So we're going to do business with these guys over here, the BRICS guys, and we're going to. Now you can do whatever blockade you want, but we're not using your currency, and we're exchanging it amongst ourselves, the other currency. So good luck with that. So that's where we're at. So therefore, you guys know the empire is crumbling because once you can't control the Silk Road as to the flow of trades and goods, where it's to your advantage, it's almost a wrap. Not quite yet, but we're going to be in for more hardships, and that's the problem. All right, I'm going to run out of here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I just wanted to come on and talk about this FEDS thing because I think it's highly irregular and it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt all of us, quite frankly. Right now, you could easily say, think about this. I'll tell you one thing right now. We have a perfect example. Post-retirement travel has done everything proper and everything right for his financial future. When he retired, like what was it, a year and a half ago, it was a whole different vibes. Now there is no way he knew that insurance in year over year was going to be this amount or any amounts that are out here. The grocery stores weren't going to be that amount. There's all kind of things that my house insurance, my car insurance, my electric bills, and it's like it's It's crazy. So therefore, anybody that has retired previously is in a they have a huge problem. If you retired like 10 years ago, you had a set income. Whatever that was, prices are double from what people were paying. And then some, because I have a place that was $950 per month in 2013, 2 bedroom, 2.5 baths, duplex. Each side's $950 a month. Right now, 2250 a month rent for the same units. See, this is what I'm saying. 10, 12, 13 years ago. So when people start retiring, there is no way you can deal with these price increases such as these in a short period of time. And then that's why you have a lot of people going back to work that are elderly, so to speak, late 50s, 60s, 70s, even some 80 years old. Because again, the cost. Who saw this coming? We all did. Remember, every day our currency is being devalued because we print money, because we give out bonds. Just keep that in mind. Any news from DR regarding the projects you're looking at? No, no news. They sold out the 199 and the 235K townhome villas. Sold out. As soon as we ran the video, next day sold out. All the rest, Larimar. In fact, I don't even see much about Larimar anymore. I guess they're getting tired of marketing. I mean, they're just still marketing, but I'm like, their marketing budget must be one hell of a budget, or they're not paying people like corporations and companies do over there. But the point is, there's nothing happening. I mean, everything's happening slowly, right? Everything's happening just slowly because remember, workforce, immigration, workforce was reduced. So that means building's going to be kind of slow. Same thing that's happening in America. They decided to go on that European descendants thing. They're doing the same thing. Let's build a wall. Let's waste some money on a wall. Who cares about our electrical grid? Who cares about clean water that people can shower and bathe in and drink? That's why you can't drink the water in DR. And they're like, F that. So what if there's arsenic and stuff in our soil that crops are grown in? We got other fish to fry. That other country that's next door to us that's going through civil war like stuff. Yeah, we don't want their immigrants over here. They don't need a safe place to work and raise their children, even though we used to all be one island at the time. All right. Yes, last year, even our grocery bill was at least 35% less. I seriously don't know how low income families do it. They don't. And I'm just talking the basics. No expensive steak and shrimp, just chicken. Exactly. 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 Eric, I found a company in DR who service land trusts. I know. Right now, they're doing 16% dividend on loan to finish a project. It's called Samana Group. I've heard about them before, but I'm skeptical about all that. Business over there, I'm skeptical. Somebody says this, yes. Will they do it and how they do it? I don't know. But I've heard of it before, and I'm not really comfortable with that because they have deeds there, and a lot of people, you know how they do the land there, where people sign over these subtitle type stuff, and that's why when these families want to sell their 20 acres or 10 or 5, it's actually been under transferred, just not recorded. And each person now wants their money. So now they're like, hey, you can't sell this. Look, my grandmother gave it to me. My uncle gave me his portion, and people come out the woodwork and they're all legal. But now you guys know you have to make sure the title is clear. How long is that going to take? A year and a half, 2.5 years? That's why they have a problem. These land trust things, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's one step before tokenizations of properties. Yes, I wanted to get into it. I figured out a way that it could have been done, but unfortunately, this unit sold before we could get to it. So that's why I never talked about it since. And they just said, well, we'll get with you on the next one. And I was like, yeah, okay, the next one. Okay, well, it's not going to be of interest if you do what everybody else does. The next one's 359 G's. I'm like, or 300 some G's. No, that's not going to work. Okay. Um, yeah, because you can always do the membership thing, and everybody that's a member can then do the tokenization. I'm just researching their business model. Yeah, that's going to be very hard because I don't even know how they're going to do a land trust when the properties are deeded. That's the thing that I don't get because I don't want a land trust. If I mean, when somebody's giving me deeds, I'll take that because it's it is what it is. I mean, they do some of that in some other countries even, but I'm never. Uh, I'm not a fan. That's all. Not a fan. Not a fan. Only because. Only because there's oftentimes families, more than one person. So maybe good intentions, but I'm not comfortable. Some people will be, but not me, especially in the DR. Not going to happen. I would never do that. I'm thinking to build a land trust there. Uh, I get what you're saying, but again, their federal court systems and laws are weird. And if somebody screws you over, or yeah, screws you over, then good luck. So you can have your own land trust, but I'm just saying some stuff comes up and it's not to me. I know what you're calling a land trust, but do you know what they're calling a land trust? That's the $1 million question you have to ask when you're in the DR. These guys come up with something else. It might not be what you think it is, but hey, we'll check it out together. Let us know. Let us know. Um, I'll just Google it now. How do they do this? Samana Land Trust is private investment vehicle acquiring over 10,000 acres in Dominican Republic's fastest growing region, structured as I'm not going to use it, fiduciary, I'll call it, Dominican equivalent of a REIT. Okay, so that's what they're doing. It offers investors exposure to asset backed returns with institutional grade protections. Okay, they're doing a REIT. How cute. How cute. So that's what they mean by a land trust? That's crazy. And Samana Group Land Trust does have their own website, apparently. We'll see. Samana Land Trust, yes. Are they talking about their REIT? It looks like it. Fully structured, fully audited, fully compliant. The opportunity for qualified investors, the next step, that's what you're talking about, a land trust. Okay, that's what they're calling a land trust. It's an investment. Interesting. So they're doing this, it's just a REIT. It's just the best explanation. That's basically Fundrise, the Cordone Capital, and then of course ARR, ORC, NLY, AGNC. Those are real estate investment trusts. 14% and more dividends every month. Not every month, 14%. Annually, 14%. Every month they issue dividends. Um, okay, maybe I've called it wrong name, but I would like to put all my properties in one basket, offer shares and monthly dividends, but it'll just still just an idea. Yeah, but if you do that, you know you're going to fall under securities inside or outside of America if you're going with USA customers. Unless, well, there's a way around it. Of course, you can have a corporation over there and then you make it a membership. So then, it's on the island membership. So then it doesn't really matter that much. But once again, got to be very careful with the way everything works over there. So you want to do a real estate investment trust as well. So, oh, you're thinking of a real trust. Yeah, see, they're doing like a REIT. You're talking about a real trust. You put all your properties in the trust. I get you. I get you. They do have trust in the DR. They're allowed, just so you know. So that's a good thing. I like it. Yeah, I like that better than doing a real estate investment trust because that means you need regulatory approval generally. And then your custom see again, you're messing around with SEC type violations even in the DR because as soon as you have a customer from the United States, that's their US's jurisdiction of their citizens, so to speak. So uh, outflow of money is not something the U.S. really used to love. Now they don't care. Expats are fleeing. They're saying, "Give me my $2,500 a month in my security. Give me my pension money. I'll go live somewhere that's like $800 a month in a foreign country, and I can deal with the minor inconveniences, but I'm going to have a lot more money in my pocket." So that's what we're dealing with right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, land trust it is. I see what you're doing, the real like a trust. I like that. The one that you do in investments using a real estate investment trust format from a private company, that's very, very difficult. But no, that's all doable. I know I still need to make more research. What I understand is you're going to put all your properties under the land trust name. And then you're saying, I want to have investors because I'm going to be renting out the property, I'm assuming, which is also like a real estate investment trust. But the point is, it is what it is. You are offering them a return on an investment. Simple. That's all doable. You just have to get a company in the DR. SRL. You can go see Glenme. Remy Hatchie Cuevas and Associates. Let her know you're from the SSN Nation, and she could give you a great deal to create your business entity. All right. Then you just go down to the bank and go to BDH, get a business bank account. It'll take a while. I'm just saying, but you'll be good. All right. So there you go. No, just think the land trust, if you're doing like a trust, so it's just going to be an entity. So you can have a trust in DR. It's just like when you can make your trust a business if you want, have an EIN number. So you just do it in the DR. Or, well, okay, I'll do it another way. You can do the land trust in the United States. Okay. So you can have your LLC or C corporation. You can have that attached. You can have that as a foreign company in operating in DR. So you don't even have to have a DR SRL, although it might help. But the point is, I'm trying to make your land trust could be land trust in America, and it could also be land trust that entity in America can be moved over or not so moved, but they'll accept it to operate on the island. Um, they have it, foreign corporation. Just like in the USA, if you're a foreign corporation, you have to file under foreign corporation. Same thing. All right. Well, then you can do one in DR. They have them, so you can do them. Either way, you're good. All right. I have my guy with SRL, but thanks for the recommendation. Okay. Yeah, I know. You're ingrained there, man. You did your homework and you know people. You did a great job on your purchases, by the way. Whatever happened with the blue group that the staircases they put outside? What happened? Have they figured out what they're well? Basically, you're going to lose space inside, and it's not no 2 feet either. It's not like 3. It's not 1 foot either. A staircase takes up space, and you got to have enough to walk people around. But let us know, and then I'm going to run, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go. We've been on a long time, but sometimes we want 2 hours, 3 hours. But just so you guys know, Feds cut rates. In case you just joined us, this was not an unknown factor. The point is, we just didn't know if it was going to be 0.5 basis points or 0.25 basis points down. They went with the safe approach, 0.25. But we knew it was going to be a cut, but the stock market did not react positively. It didn't jump off the page. Nothing changed. They still playing. Oh, man, that's bad. Yeah, because you're going to have to go through a roof, I would imagine. There's none of this go around the outside. They're going to have to go through the interior of the property, and that costs money. And it's not like $1,000 either. I'm sorry to hear that, because I thought Blue doing the right thing. Well, they've done the right thing in the past until now. They don't want to pay that extra jackhammering or whatever they got to do. That's not something that's not easily rectified. So, of course, they're going to have to charge you more money now for their mistake, for not getting it approved, because there is no building inspector. There is nobody that would improve spiral staircases out on the balcony. Nobody. Not going to happen. But somehow, they did this crazy thing. And their builders, they knew better. That's funny as hell to me. All right. Well, good luck with them, man. I know they're probably going to want an extra 10 G's or something. It's crazy, unfortunately, but it is what it is. This is DR. Okay. And if you missed the last video, a new record for air and cruise. The problem is they said 707,000 in Dominican today. In Caribbean Journal, they also said 707,000. But then they said 569,000 were international tourists. So that's a problem. So that means we would be well below 2024 record numbers. If you start counting right, that would be catastrophic, because then we'd be right where we started last year. And right now, it's only 2% above what it was last year, year over year. That's it, 2%. So when you start talking about, what is that, 6 million? What's 2%? That's nothing, right? That's nothing. So that's what we're talking about here. 120,000 more people. That's not going to cut it when you add 9,000 hotel rooms on the island. Another 5,000 Airbnbs. It's not going to cut it. 120,000 more. That's only 10,000 per month. And then there's more than one person. Most times split that in two, so you're down to $5,000. That's not nothing. That's literally a drop in a bucket. Before that tragedy in that club, no one cares. Exactly. Looks like they take more attention now, or pay more attention now. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they do, but the problem, because they got sued, people are getting possibly charges by the owners for people dying and stuff. Yeah, but hey, it's DR, man. It's DR. I've locked in only 50K in Blue Marlin for those two penthouses, so I can wait. I love it. Great deals. And looking at the rental rates right now, that $50 to $60 to $75 per night charge all year long seems to be not a good option, so to speak, because I saw in the neighborhood not Marlin itself, but in the neighborhood, there were people that had things like last month and the month before. I haven't checked this month at all, but they had things such as $350 a week. I'm like, what? $30 a night? 35? I'm like, holy smokes. Nobody's buying any condos for 35K. So I was like, oh man. But it's only was during like June or July or something. September, well, this is kind of like low season, September, October, November. So I expect special prices, low prices. But again, this is what happens when you don't have an increase in tourism. But you added an extra 3,000 hotel rooms, 6,000, 7,000 hotel rooms, and you added about another 8,000 Airbnbs. And your tourism numbers are the same. That's not good. We've talked about this many, many times. This is why we need them guys to do their infrastructure and banking and get their act together judicially so people, foreign investors, don't feel like they're going to be ripped off. It's simple as that. If you want to grow, you can't do this with airfare, hotels, and all that. Sure. But sooner or later, nobody's coming. You're going to outpace how many people's coming. And your occupancy rates for the hotels are not going to go under 80%, which it has done this year, a few months. So now if it goes to 72 or 75%, now you're going to destroy your tourism or hotel industry because they can't survive, because somebody's going to get 70, let's say 75%. Somebody else is going to get 65%. They're not going to be able to survive. So they have to start scrimping, just like I started this off talking about. They're going to start scrimping with the food. And the food has to be shortchanged. Then we got to remove a few of our employees. We can have one guy run 2 or 3 stations. We can have one guy do 2 or 3 jobs. This is where it goes. And then, of course, one's going to be closing and then another. That's where it goes if they don't get their act together. They've had 5, 6, 7 years. They don't care. Nobody likes construction side in next building, so that's why 35 per night on Blue Marlin. Yeah, exactly. Catastrophic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys being here. We'll talk about this on the next live stream on. Wait a minute. I said Money Making Monday live stream. Actually, I've been back 2 days this whole time. You guys, you're supposed to tell me, Eric, what are you talking about money? Monday. It's Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Come on, guys. I messed up all night saying welcome to Money Making Monday live stream, and it's Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Oh, yeah. See what happens when I stay up late. I was doing the London Stock Exchange, so I was up late. And so now I'm loopy. So my days are off. Can you believe this? Man, guests complain about noise and reviews. Yes, that doesn't help anybody. This is exactly some of the pains that are going to happen. But again, the winners got in early, so their prices are low. But you're not going to be able to sustain. And see, this sets a trend. This is what sets a trend as well. So just keep in mind, if it's 350, 375, everybody else has to charge the same. Even if it's a 1 kilometer away, or even a half a kilometer away. Who cares? It's Monday or Wednesday. We were still making money here. Exactly, place. I like that approach. That's exactly right. Semantics is exactly right. No matter what day it is, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, motivation day, and it's always making money day. That's exactly right. I love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, let's go. I'll see you guys on Friday night. Not Wednesday. Friday night at 9:10 p.m. I'll see you guys then. All right. I love you guys very much. I appreciate your support over all these years, and I greatly appreciate the love. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest update. And out here, we talked about it. You have nobody to blame but yourself if you're not diligently trying to figure out how to make extra income. You're going to have to do it. You can't save your way out of this one. We know we have Robinhood at 4% and other people 5%. You can buy I don't know why you buy treasuries at 4%, but okay. But the point is, you can get passive income. The problem is you're not going to have, like, my insurance going up 50%. You're not going to get a 50% return on your investment by saving. You're going to have to invest in something to get 50%. Just think about this. All right. So it goes on. If one thing's 50% more, another thing is 25% more, another thing is 30, another thing is 15. It all adds up to being a certain number. And that number is not single digits. That's the problem. So where are you going to get single digits from to offset what you have to pay out? That's the $1 million question. That's what we talk about here, and that's what we were talking about earlier on. All right. So whether it's Money Making Monday, Money Making Wednesday, I'll see you guys for the Financial Friday night stream at 9:10 p.m. And be safe out here, because you never know what somebody's going through. There's a lot of disinformation. A lot of people are upset, sad, and as we talked about, may not have any roof over their head, any food in the cupboard, because things are out of price. The costs are crazy. So just make sure you stay safe out here, because people are going through it. And with all that said, make sure you keep your head up, keep moving. I finally found it. And I'm out.